What's going on, guys? Dr. Gonzo, Boogie here again, back for another video, and this is going to be my part 2 of my complete overview or tour of my entire DVD collection. And in part 1, I went through and showed you guys the first row of DVDs there, and here in part 2, I'm going to go through and show you guys the complete second row of DVDs. So let's get started. And over here is my Italian horror movie collection. So I'll be going through that with you guys. And then after the Italian horror films, it kind of goes into my John Carpenter films. And then after John Carpenter, it kind of goes a little random, but it goes into some of my favorite horror directors, like John Landis with American Werewolf, and Don Carcerelli, and Sam Raimi, and Peter Jackson. And then after that, it kind of goes into horror franchises, and I have my Friday the 13th stuff, and some other stuff, which I'll get to a little bit better in this video. But let's start all the way back here at the Italian horror movie stuff, and let's get going. So first off here is Black Sabbath. Gotta have Black Sabbath in your collection if you're an Italian horror movie fan. Classic anthology film directed by Mario Bava, one of my favorites from him, actually. Got Boris Karloff in that too, can't go wrong with Boris Karloff. This is Black Sunday with Barbara Steele. Cool stuff. And those are the only two Mario Bava films I have on DVD, but actually I have a few more of his movies on Blu-ray, Arrow video releases, and stuff like that. But eventually I'll get to my Blu-ray collection and show you guys that a little bit better. But alright, let's move on here. So after the Mario Bava, it goes into my Dario Argento stuff. And first off is the Bird with the Crystal Plumage. This is an old VCI edition of this, and I would love to upgrade this to Blu-ray, so that's actually on the top of my list right now, to get a Blu-ray copy of The Bird with the Crystal Plumage. Actually, there's a lot of Dario Argento's films that I'm trying to upgrade to Blu-ray, along with Deep Red and a few others. Speaking of Deep Red, that's next in line. This is an awesome Anchor Bay edition of this. After that, I got the Suspiria box set, one of my favorite releases in my collection, and one of the movies that really got me into collecting and just being a fan of Italian horror films. Alright, so after Suspiria, we got Inferno. Here we go. Another classic from Argento. And I got Tenebrae, one of my favorite Dario Argento films. This has such an awesome gore scene that just comes out of nowhere towards the end of this film. Dario Argento does stuff like that best. Phenomena, which actually is my favorite Dario Argento film. Just a classic, just a really weird but really cool film. And this is actually the US cut of Phenomena. Over here in the US, it was released as Creepers, and it was heavily edited, and it was cut. A few things were cut from it, and it's not as good as a film, but since it's my favorite Dario Argento film, I always wanted to pick this up on DVD. And this is just like a dollar store public domain version of this. But I don't think this movie can be released in public domain anymore, because a lot of these older public domain copies of it are actually kind of expensive. Alright, so after that we got Opera, another classic Dario Argento film. This one is really good, one of my favorites actually. Alright, let me just fix up the Argento collection before I move on here. Alright, and after Opera is Phantom of the Opera. Actually, I had never seen this one. If you guys recommend this, definitely let me know in the comments. I think it stars his daughter, Asia Argento. She's in this too. And she's also in the Stendhal syndrome, or Stendhal syndrome, however it's pronounced. And this one I have seen, and it was actually pretty good for Dario Argento's 90s films. Actually, I haven't been too impressed with all his 90s films that I've seen so far. They just don't really hold up to his 70s and 80s films, but this one was pretty good. Got this pretty cool Dario Argento box set. This is actually a Steelbook Anchor Bay DVD set. It comes with 5 of his movies, Tenebrae, Phenomena. Really glad to have the remastered DVDs of those. It also comes with the card player, Trauma, and Do You Like Hitchcock. I've seen a couple of those, but I haven't seen Do You Like Hitchcock yet, or the card player, but I did watch Trauma. And I think I remember it was pretty good. After that is the Demons 2-pack. These were directed by Lamberto Bava, but produced by Dario Argento. And this is from the Dario Argento gift set series that Anchor Bay put out within the Dario Argento collection. All 3 of these gift sets are pretty hard to find and are out of print, of course, and kind of go for a lot of money now. Glad I have that. Next up here is another Lamberto Bava 2-pack, and Lamberto Bava is, of course, the son of Mario Bava. And this is a 2-pack of 2 films he directed, A Blade in the Dark and Macabre. I would highly recommend A Blade in the Dark. I actually think it's a really good giallo. Macabre is a bit of a weird, strange film, but I've always liked that one too, so I would actually recommend both of these. Pretty good stuff. Alright, so after the Lamberto Bava stuff, we go into my Lucio Fulci collection. First off, of course, gotta have Zombie. This is probably my favorite Lucio Fulci movie, just a classic here. And love the movie poster to this. This is one of my favorite horror movie posters ever. Just cool stuff. This is actually like a really old Anchor Bay release of this. I actually haven't seen too many people show this in their collections. I also have the Beyond here. Pretty cool Anchor Bay copy of that. Gonna start going through these a little bit quicker now. I got The House by the Cemetery, another decent Lucio Fulci movie. The New York Ripper, a very questionable Lucio Fulci movie. Probably my least favorite out of the ones that I have. I just remember that was like a really weird movie. Alright, then after that we got Nightmare City. Here we go. Pretty cool stuff there. This is a really cheeseball zombie film where the zombies like carry guns and talk and stuff like that. Rats, Night of Terror. This is I think a Bruno Mattei film. Actually haven't watched that yet. And also I think Hell of the Living Dead is Bruno Mattei. And I remember this was a really shitty zombie movie, but still sort of fun to watch shitty zombie movies sometimes. So there's still some rewatch value left in this. Alright, after that we got Cannibal Holocaust, and that's basically the end of my Italian horror films. This is like an older 2-disc release from Grindhouse releasings of the Cannibal Holocaust movie. Pretty cool release there. Alright, and like I said, after the Italian horror films, that's where my John Carpenter films start, and it starts off with my Halloween stuff. I'm not going to go through all of the Halloween films that I have in my DVD collection, because I'm sure you guys have seen those DVDs a billion times, but I'll go through most of them. This is actually a pretty cool release of Halloween. Kind of got this like holographic cover, or whatever you want to call it. I got the Halloween TV cut on DVD, the Halloween 2 Scream Factory DVD release. That was actually, I think, the first Scream Factory release I ever picked up. Just a regular copy of Halloween 3. I got a couple copies of Halloween 4. This one with the movie poster on it, and this one where it like kind of zooms in on the movie poster. Cool stuff. I love Halloween 4. Also love Halloween 5. And this is just like an older Anchor Bay release of it. Let's see what else we got here. Halloween 6. And then that's the end of my Halloween films on DVD. I have H2O, Resurrection, and the Rob Zombie ones on Blu-ray. And after that is the rest of my John Carpenter, like I was saying, and that's Assault on Precinct 13. This is like an older snapper case edition of it. I also have a cool 2-disc of Escape from New York. I also have the Scream Factory of that on Blu-ray, The Fog, The Thing, Christine, Big Trouble in Little China, really fun movie. They Live, probably one of my favorite John Carpenter movies. Just love this one. It's a really cool story. And then after the John Carpenter, it goes into some of my other favorite horror directors. You got John Landis with American Werewolf in London, which is really the only straightforward horror film he directed. But there's still a lot of comedy elements in this, but it's still a really scary horror film. One of my favorite horror films ever. And this is the cool glow-in-the-dark release that Walmart had around Halloween time. Pretty cool stuff. An American Werewolf in Paris, horrible sequel. And then after that goes into the Phantasm films. I got Phantasm, like a cool Anchor Bay copy with a slipcover on it. I'm sure you guys seen that one before. And of course Phantasm 3. I know this is out of print, of course, and kind of pricey. I wish I had Phantasm 4 in my collection. I remember buying this at like an FYE that was closing down, and I think I only spent like 10, maybe 15 bucks at most on that. So always really glad about that purchase. Alright, so let's move on to the second half of this row here. And this starts off with my Sam Raimi, or Evil Dead films, basically. And I got the Evil Dead Ultimate Edition 3-disc box set. Really cool release there. I got this like regular Anchor Bay copy of Evil Dead, but this is comes with this cool slipcover on it, which I don't see too often in people's collections. And also the booklet inside of this I got autographed, which I'm really happy about, by the 3 actresses from the first Evil Dead movie. If you guys want to see a little bit more about that, I actually have a playlist on my channel of all my horror convention videos. And if you check out the first video in that playlist, you can actually watch me get this signed in it. So definitely check that out if you guys want to see more about me going to horror conventions. I got this cool elite copy of the first Evil Dead. I always really liked this. This was actually the first copy of Evil Dead I ever bought, was this copy, and then I ended up trading it to my friend. And just a year ago, I bought it back just because I remembered liking this one so much. I just really like the way old school DVDs look sometimes. Got this old school copy, Evil Dead 2. This is the old Anchor Bay release with the skull poster. This is, again, of course, out of print and kind of pricey, hard to find a little bit. I got this cool 2-disc set of Army of Darkness from Anchor Bay. The Man with the Screaming Brain, really fun film. I think Bruce Campbell like wrote, directed, and starred in that. Just a fun movie. I got Bad Taste in Dead Alive from Peter Jackson. Classic stuff here. Then after that, like I said, it kind of ends the horror directors a little bit and goes into the franchises, I would say. So let's take a look at what I got here. First off here, of course, the Friday the 13th films. I have the first 4 released separately on DVD, which I really love these editions of the films because they have the original movie posters on the front. Just awesome stuff. But my favorite thing in my Friday the 13th collection is probably this box set. This is my favorite way to watch the Friday the 13th films, is off of this box set. And this comes with the first 8 films, so the good Friday the 13th films are on this box set. And I also have the sort of companion set that comes with Jason Goes to Hell, Jason X, and Freddy vs. Jason, which I'm not the biggest fan of any of these movies. Jason Goes to Hell is really bad. Jason X, I actually sort of like Jason X. That one grows on me every year. And then Freddy vs. Jason is okay. It's just cool seeing Freddy and Jason fight. Sleepaway Camp box set, one of my favorite box sets and just one of my favorite things in my entire DVD collection. This is the 4-disc one that comes with the like the rare footage. This one is like sort of hard to find, I think. Harder to find than the 3-disc one. And then I have the 3 re-animator films on DVD. I got this cool Millennium Edition from Elite Entertainment of the first first Reanimator movie. Sorry about that. And just love the first Reanimator film. This is one of my favorite horror films. Bride of Reanimator, which is pretty good. Beyond Reanimator, which is okay. I got the first three Return of the Living Dead films. I love the first one. The second one's pretty good too, and I also really like the third one. Really cool film here. Unique take on the whole like zombie thing. And after that, I got the Night of the Demons films. I got just the first two. First one is classic, one of my favorite 80s horror films. And the second one's pretty good too. And then after that, it goes into my Hellraiser film series. I actually think I have all of the Hellraiser films up into the newest one that didn't have Doug Bradley in it. So I never picked that one up or checked it out. If you guys think it's worth checking out, definitely let me know in the comments. But I kind of just passed on that one. But let's take a quick look at some of the Hellraiser releases I have here. I got, of course, the Anchor Bay classic edition of the first Hellraiser film. I have this really cool, like old school edition of Hellraiser 2. I actually don't see too many people show this in their videos, so I always really like that one. I also have a older copy of Hellraiser 3, which is still, I think, a really decent Hellraiser movie, but after that is kind of when the series goes downhill. Not a really big fan of the rest of the sequels, even though they are fun to watch sometimes, but they're just horror movies that I don't go back to that often. And I do try to watch the first three Hellraiser movies, like once every year or something like that. Those are really interesting and unique horror movies, but the sequels after that, not so good. But I got Bloodline. What do we got after that? Inferno, Hellseeker, Deader, and Hellworld. Which I actually remember watching Hellworld a lot when I was younger, because this one came out like when I was younger, like right when I was getting into horror films and stuff like that. What year did this come out? Probably not going to be able to find out now. Yeah, I don't see a date in the back of this, but probably like early 2000s, something like that. Alright, let me try to fix the lighting here a little bit. Alright, so after the Hellraiser films, I got a couple other Clive Barker films. I got Nightbraid here, classic Snapper Case of Dish, Candyman, which I think was based on a Clive Barker story. I think the movie was written and produced by him too. After that, I got my Child's Play series. I got the first one separate, and then I got this awesome box set that comes with all the Universal released Child's Play films. So the second, third, and Bride of Chucky. These are awesome. Bride of Chucky is probably my favorite, and I've just always loved this box set. Used to have this when I was younger too. Just an awesome box set. And then last for this shelf and last for this video is the Blair Witch Experience box set. Comes with the first two Blair Witch films and like a weird PC video game thing that I've never played. I love the first Blair Witch film, one of my favorite horror movies. The sequel is just not good at all, but I just did a video where I reviewed all three of the Blair Witch movies, so if you guys want to see me talk a little bit more about these films, definitely check out that video. It's called Blair Witch 2016 Review. But at the beginning of the video, I review these two real quickly before I review the newest Blair Witch film, which I was not a fan of. Just a little disappointed in that new Blair Witch film. I think they could have done a lot better with that. But alright guys, that was it for part 2. And I'll definitely be filming and posting up part 3 for you guys sometime soon. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely give it a thumbs up or leave a comment. And I'll see you guys next time.